The following video has been provided by Canyon Enterprises, websites made simple for web development, design, consulting, and training. Okay, now that we have XAMPP running, let's go ahead and see if we can see how we can use XAMPP to help us with web development. So with the control panel, we've already started Apache and MySQL with two green running lights on. Now I'm going to go to a web browser and I'm going to access XAMPP from the browser. And we just need to go to the address bar at the top and type in localhost. Now localhost is just a name for pointing to the same box that you're on. Whatever box you're on, if you end up saying localhost and you want to talk to a web server, or if you're saying localhost and you want to talk to maybe a database, then it's just saying I want to point to myself. So here you have it. We end up having XAMPP for Windows set up onto our box, and there's a couple features that are available to us. In this particular one, I've got PHP version 5.2.3. I could see that up here on the left. And I have a number of different items that I can end up choosing from this panel. So there's an XAMPP group, there's a demos group, and there's a tools section. Mostly what I use is I sometimes go to phpMyInfo just to see what information is there. For example, if I go to phpInfo, it brings me up a page that shows me that I'm working with PHP version 5.2.3. The other piece that I use is the phpMyAdmin. And phpMyAdmin is used to find out a little bit about the database. So if I click on phpMyAdmin, it opens up another window for me. And from here, I have access to my MySQL database. It's a lot easier to use this than it would be to use a command line in order to create a database and so on. So one thing you can do to start off with is you could start by creating a username and password for your database. It's similar to whenever you work with a hosting company that says, oh, I have a website, and they give you a database with a username and password to access it. So let's go to privileges down here. And under privileges, just go ahead and reduce this list a little bit. Under privileges, I'm going to add a new user. So let's say I want to go ahead and add one called DemoDB. That's the name of the user that I'm going to have to access the database. The host will be localhost. And the password, well, let me just use something simple. So I'll just use a password of demo. I'll type it twice. Now what we could do is, now that we have a username called DemoDB, I can end up creating a database with the exact same name. To do that, I go into this section here where it says Database for User, and I click on Create Database with the same name and grant all privileges. From there, I scroll down to the bottom, and on the lower right hand corner I have the Go button. I'll click on that. And phpMyAdmin was able to go ahead and create a user along with the database that has the same name. If I want to use it, I go to the drop down menu and I look for DemoDB, and now I have a database. From here I can end up creating some tables for my database. So let's say I'll create a table called notes. Number of fields, well, let's say 3. I'll have an ID field, a name field, and maybe a description field. Click on Go, and it'll allow me to create those 3 fields. So I'll create an ID field. I'll make it of type integer, length of 11, unsigned. I'll have it auto increment, and I'll make it a key field or a primary key field. Okay, so I'm going to make some notes, so maybe I'll call this title. I can make it varchar, holding up to 100 characters. And finally, I can end up having some description. And this one I'll make of type text. Okay, now if you're used to writing SQL statements, you could have written them directly. But if you're like me, you don't remember all the statements or you don't remember the correct word to make it. So I ended up using phpMyAdmin to develop this table, and when I click on Save, it will write the SQL statement for me. Create table called Notes with an ID, title, and description. And I could see my notes table here on the left. For more information about Canyon Enterprises, visit us at www.thecanyon.com or write to us at Canyon Enterprises, 11956 Bernardo Plaza Drive, number 540, San Diego, California 92128. Or you could email us at info@thecanyon.com. Thanks for watching.